The lion you see now is thought to be the largest that ever existed, the Barbary lion. I'll give you one guess as to what caused this creature to become extinct. Of course, it's pretty obvious that humans have made a lot of animal species extinct, but when it comes to lions, we're not the only ones having a negative impact on their population. Today, you'll learn how humans learn to live underwater, why monkeys steal lion cubs, and how factories change the color of animals. And this is not a snake. Many eagles, hawks, and other such birds are daytime top predators with no equal. But at night, the balance of power changes. Wait, what? Yeah, an owl just snatched a buzzard right out of its nest. Wasn't embarrassed at all. Here, let me rewind. It's not a bird, it's some kind of winged ninja. And there are many such cases. During daylight hours, an eagle will gladly dine on an owl or its chick if it catches sight of them. Some species prefer birds as their only meal. But as the sun sets below the horizon, it's owl time. They're real killing machines. They eat everything, including other raptors, reptiles, even skunks. Why not snack on an eagle? Even if the prey is many times larger, it doesn't mean owls won't try. And yeah, don't forget that they fly completely silently. I already talked about this in one of our earlier videos.
Good.
It's impossible to prepare for an attack by someone who acts in the dark and doesn't make a single sound.
Hey, what happened?
But okay, owls attacking eagles, they're at least, well, in the same weight class. I mean, they're birds, right? Baboons are an entirely different matter. Baboons stealing lion cubs? At first glance, it looks like a cosplay on The Lion King. It only lacks an appropriate song behind the scenes and Pride Rock. In addition, there's evidence that the female baboon seriously cared for the found lion cub as if it were her own cub. She brushed its hair, carried it from tree to tree. Reality is, though, this isn't a cartoon. And Elton John and his songs won't help. Baboons do steal little lions, but they do it not in order to play their Hamlet in the middle of the savannah. Everything is much more tragic and simpler at the same time. Lions eat baboons. And it's almost impossible for primates to beat such a predator, so they had to invent a cruel scheme. Baboons steal lion cubs to get rid of the threat in advance. No baby means no adult lion who will eat them for lunch in the future. Yes, wildlife as it is. Generally speaking, stealing is always, well, at least annoying. Imagine going out fishing, setting a trap, then someone just stole your entire catch.
What can I say?
You're hardly comforted by the fact that it was an octopus that did it, and it's the fourth smartest of all invertebrates. Oh, octopuses are the bane of fishermen. Ocean thieves have long figured out that instead of hunting for all kinds of underwater life, you can just enjoy what other people have already caught. Why bother? There, everything's ready. Almost a buffet. All that remains is to escape from the crime scene in time. And the octopus has enough intelligence for that too. Scientists found out a long time ago that they're incredibly smart and cunning creatures. They can open child-proof jars, build shelters from improvised materials they can remember, and even seriously dislike humans. And eating crabs?
What can I say?
Unlike the poor fishermen, Dalmatis spiders know exactly how not to miss their prey. Perhaps that's why they prefer to eat them right on the spot, and that's why spiders eat fish. Seriously, they hunt by waiting at the edge of a pond or stream, seeing ripples from fish movements. Spiders literally run on the surface or immediately jump into the water to catch their prey with their strong legs. By the way, their span can reach 8 centimeters, enough to cope with small fish. After that, it's everything as usual. A poisonous bite, a short wait, and bon appetit. But it's unlikely you'd take a spider with you on a fishing trip as a helper. Yeah, they look kind of unfriendly. The alcedo, on the other hand, is another matter. This bright bird, a little bigger than a sparrow, really knows a thing or two about fishing. Usually, alcedos sit on branches hanging over the water, and when they spot a fish, they instantly drop down. Everything happens so quickly that nobody has time to understand anything. Neither the fish nor the observers. But the bird grabs the prey with its long, sharp beak and departs for dinner. They're ideal fishermen, but if the fish isn't good, alcedos don't mind to add variety to the menu. Dragonflies, larvae, lizards, even crayfish. They'll eat everything that hasn't managed to hide in time. So both spiders and birds are quite good at fishing. You know, there wouldn't be any fish left if they ever learned to live underwater, just like humans. I'm not talking about any future settlements on the seafloor. People are living or practically living underwater right now. The Moken tribes number only 2,000 or 3,000 on the border of Thailand and Burma. They're nomads, even called sea gypsies. And if anyone knows anything about the sea, it's the Moken. They live by fishing and gathering, hunting on the bottom without any scuba gear. The Mokens can spend several minutes at depths of more than 20 meters. This is just some of their amazing abilities. Hunters from these tribes see better underwater than ordinary people because they've been diving since early childhood. Their eyes are trained to focus even in the middle of salt water. In addition, they're able to make themselves heavier without weights and walk on the bottom. Despite all the benefits of civilization like money, sewage, and Wi-Fi, some of the Moken still leave a nomadic lifestyle, spending most of their time in the sea. Unfortunately, there aren't many of them left. But I wonder if the Moken skills would work outside of the sea they know. For example, like in a pool. If water nomads are so good at diving, what can they do in the Y40 Deep Joy, the deepest pool in the world? It's just an incredible structure. Basically, it's something like a long, wide tube that goes to a depth of 42.15 meters. The complex has 4 underwater caves for the training of divers and the underwater glass tunnel for visitors. Here, various experiments and research are constantly conducted as well. But even the creation of this pool is still an experiment. It's believed that it took 9 days to fill the Y40 with water, and its total capacity is 4,300 cubic meters. Let's get out of the water, pretend we're in a forest, and look up. Notice anything unusual? The trees aren't touching each other. It's as if they're keeping their distance on purpose so that… And why exactly? This phenomenon is called crown shyness. And I'll tell you right off the bat, scientists are still not sure why something like this happens at all. They've been studying shy trees for 100 years, but haven't come to any consensus. Some think it happens to reduce the spread of pests. If you don't get too close to an infectious one, you don't get infected yourself. Basically, it's just like people. Others say that this is how the branches try to protect each other from breaking in the wind. In addition, some scientists suggest that this way the trees simply are doing their photosynthesis better. They don't cover each other's leaves, which means they let each other make the most of it. In short, no one knows anything, but it's very interesting. After all, plants don't have many ways to avoid anything harmful or dangerous. It's not like they can pretend to be cactuses, for example, to scare away pests. But the lucky one in this regard is the caterpillars. It seems they can pretend to be anything they want. Even a stick, even a poisonous snake? Really? The butterfly caterpillar, Hemeroplanus triptelamus, gets pretty big. But if you're big and not a lion, you're guaranteed to get eaten. Fortunately, evolution has come up with a terrific disguise. At the slightest danger, the caterpillar dangles from a branch, trying its best to imitate a snake. Sucking air through tiny holes on the surface, it inflates its head, creating the illusion of a triangular skull of a real venomous predator. If the shape of the deadly snake isn't enough to scare away the source of danger, the caterpillar will lunge as if it's about to bite. Although it has no real weapons, and the snake looks like a stump, the whole masquerade works. Now, if the animal world were to award an Oscar, I'd give it to this species. Probably no one goes through such rapid and amazing changes. More often than not, they take a really long time at all, especially when it comes to evolution. However, you can see it in action on butterflies. Let's leave the snake caterpillars alone and travel to mid-19th century Britain. Look, this butterfly is called the peppered moth. It looks pretty boring, but it's the one that had the most amazing metamorphosis. Originally, the wings of this butterfly were white with black spots, and this coloring helped the insects blend in with the bark of the trees. It makes sense. If you're inconspicuous, you won't get eaten. Well, at least not immediately. Basically, everything was fine until the Industrial Revolution. Along with it came large-scale air pollution. Ecology greatly affected the vegetation, lichens disappeared, and the butterflies were hiding in them. They had to think of something new quite urgently. For example, to darken. But the story wasn't over there either. More than 100 years later, people began to fight air pollution, and the lichens gradually returned to the tree trunks. The butterflies sighed heavily and brightened back up. Today, black specimens are still found, but they're incredibly rare, at least until the next ecological problem. We'll see you soon.